One of the general things about writing is they will usually tell you you need to do multiple plots. And if you're writing anything more than a short story, this is true. And when I say multiple plots, it can't be that the character's only thing is getting from the house to the grocery store. She also needs to worry about getting dinner ready or about the fact that the school just called. There has to be multiple things going on. Otherwise, you don't have enough to write an entire book. For the longest time, one of the standard "you must do this" has always been that you need to have a romance plot. Even if it was a subtle romance plot, slow burn, whatever. Well, I don't write romance into my stories. Every so often, there'll be a super soft one in a short story or something else. But for the main stories I write, when the character is doing something, there is nothing that is driving them that is romance related. So they aren't lusting after the hot guy, they aren't distracted by somebody walking around in a bikini because I don't want to write that for a couple reasons. One, I've never really felt that it was all that accurate or realistic that if somebody is in a gunfight situation and they have bullets flying over them, they're not going to look over at the person next to them and go, "Oh, wow, he's so hot with his muscles bulging." No, you're just not. Okay. And if you are, well, that's you, not me. But I do write relationships. And by relationships, I mean the love between siblings, the love parents have for their kids, the love people have for their friends, relationships where they're already married, and that bond that connects two people when they've chosen to be married. Those things I find as much more interesting because you actually do have to work at relationships. Anybody who's ever been married knows that there's no magic wand that as soon as you say I do, everything's perfect. Now, again, I said up until lately, it was pretty much a given that if you see any book, it was going to have some sort of romance. Well, that's been changing. A lot of the lit RPG stuff has zero romance in it. Now, some of it's the exact opposite, and all it is romance. But a lot of it, like, oh, The Completionist Chronicles by Dakota Kraut, or Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman, or a couple others, there's not a romance thing. There's nothing pulling the characters through the story that has to do with a romantic love interest. Now, there are relationships. There's the relationship between Carl and Donut. There are always going to be relationships in well written stories. Now, if you're writing or reading pulp, you're going to be like, well, there's nothing in the pulp. And you're right. Doc Savage, Tarzan, Ronnie Howard, and the Conan stuff never had a romance. But part of it is because most of those stories were only 30 to 50,000 words. That's often a quarter of the books that we're writing now. So they didn't have time. They had the story they were telling and they were done. Now, I am not saying that there is a right or wrong way to tell stories. In fact, that's kind of my point. There is no one true way to write a story. And if you got that reference, good for you. It is the type of story you want to tell and the audience that you want to tell it for. And that audience can just be you. You don't have to publish your work, you don't have to put it out there. I know quite a few people who've wanted to do a memoir, and all they want is a couple copies for their family. That's fine. The only thing you have to do to tell a good story is to tell the story. I hope this helps, and I will let you know that most of my stuff will probably not have solid romance in it, at least under the pen name Mel Todd.